clueless luthier. I have not done a video in many months. Okay, last year, certainly. The reason for that is I haven't been building any guitars. We went on a bit of an austerity mission, which did not include the materials for a guitar, ergo my absence. So I'm planning out my next one. And in thinking about what I want to do for an inlay, I decided I want to use one that I did before. I did a video on this, and I'll go find the link. Hopefully this will show up okay. I did this after our trip to Spain, and I was all geared up to do a classical or flamenco guitar. I'm not, but I still like the theme. So I was trying to think of what else to go with this, because my vision at the moment, see how it goes for it, is for her to stand on top of the fretboard on the body, up in the upper bow, and want something for the fretboard. So my idea was, well, one of this is a rose, and I've kind of cut out, I had these samples of different kinds. This is the one I selected. You can see where I've been cutting out for templates here. And I started out, okay, I'll show you the mistake I made at first. I thought it'd be okay. I put it on this block of wood and I started using that as a base, but I was using thin super glue, and it occurred to me it was seeping through too far, way too much, and it was getting stuck. And I was right. So I took a razor blade, some glue remover, and a little tapping from a hammer, and I was able to get it off, what I had done off so far. And I'll get a better view of this, but this is where I've stuck it, put it on. And in order to get the black lines, starting out and spacing it, I'm using some black vinyl plastic purfling. I think it's called celluloid. That I had not used on another guitar, my second guitar. And using it as a spacer, and that was working really well. So I decided that my experiment might turn into the real thing, and it was time to get a video of it. So let me get a closer shot and I'll show you where I am so far. So what I did is I took some spray on adhesive just to stick this lightly to the drawing and where it belongs. And once I got the first one on and I got it shaped, actually I did the first two to make sure that they fit well together with this. I took a piece of this and from here all the way around, wrapped it around to there, and used thin super glue then to put that in place and hold it. I then did the same thing here. I took vinyl all the way around to that point. Actually, I may have wrapped it all the way around. No, I think I do it separately. And I put this small piece in. I have this cut, but I think because this comes down so narrowly, I need to do this in one piece. Some of these lines I'm going to put in later, I think. Like there's one here you can see. I will probably cut that out by hand down to a certain depth and fill it probably with black super glue, to be honest with you. But it could also be ebony dust. I'll experiment. But that's the way I'm going. I'll discuss this, what I'm going to do with this when I get to it. I'm still deciding, but I have an idea. But now we'll show a little bit of the process. The next thing I'm going to do is take out the next piece that I want to cut. And I've got to determine how large I want that to be. I can do lines. My fear is some of this is going to be too small to cut. So I think what I'm going to try is to add this detail later and cut this as a bigger, larger piece. So hopefully I'm not blocking it too much here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray on some adhesive, and I'm going to stick it on the wood so that the grain of the wood is going the direction I visualize in the flower, which would be in this direction. All right, I've glued this on to the piece of wood, the grain going the way I want for that part. Now, get my visor on, get some more light in the subject here. Let's see. He says, there we go. Cut this out. Start from here. Well, that didn't work. Okay, so you can see how these kind of fit together. I'm going to have to do a little bit of sanding, filing to, God, they're awfully close, but they got some ragged edges I'm going to have to clean up. I may not be able to use this technique like here. That's probably too tight of a arc. I still have the availability to maybe use black super glue or ebony. I'm going to try to do it here and probably around the perimeter, I'm not sure. But I'll do that next. Okay. I worked on these pieces to get them fit together a little better. Little gap, but that'll be filled later. So I have a little piece of the purfling here. This slid down in. Right now there's just some kind of 3M spray adhesive kind of holding this in place. So what I'm going to do now, hopefully without gluing myself to it, kind of wish I had some number 2 or medium, but I don't. I think it might work better. If I can detach myself. All right. I have to figure out if I'm gonna be able to take that right around the outside, but I haven't decided for sure yet. I haven't done it here. So far I've only been kind of doing it in between, except for right there. So I'll have to give that some thought. So on to the next piece. I got ahead of myself and sort of finished putting the pieces on. It's pretty gunked up right now, mostly because, okay, the middle part I did as one piece. I couldn't cut it into smaller pieces, so the detail I'll have to add later. This last piece was really stubborn getting it to glue on, and I had a bit of a gap, and it was just too intricate to be able to use the purfling as a spacer, which is part of the problem, because it was hard to get anything to glue to it. So I used ebony sawdust and black super glue for the most part to get this on. I'll have to sit overnight. And now I'm going to go ahead and at least to see what I've got, sand this down. Certainly not a finished sand. You wouldn't do that till the very end, after it's actually been put on the fretboard. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, I've sanded the majority of the glue off. I don't want to go too far. I put a little naphtha on this to try to... The biggest reason, I mean, I really probably could have made this all in one piece of wood. The reason I didn't, I really wanted the grain going different directions for different petals. Some of the detail I will have to build in later, since I just could not cut pieces of wood that small and put them together. So I'm going to start working on the leaves, and what I did is, you can see I cut out the leaves on this, and they will probably not be in this configuration. I'm not sure. It's going to depend on the fretboard, where I decide to put them. So I'm going to just make them independent leaves, and I decided to cut it out of this piece right here. I kind of liked it because the lines, I can make them go along with the direction of the leaf for consistency. We'll see how that turns out. But so I've glued this on, these pieces onto this, and now I'm going to go over and cut them out. So here I have the rose. I took it off the block of wood. Putting the tape on did help, but it was still a little difficult. I also sanded the back of it a little bit to get some of the stuff off. I may do some more. These are the leaves. I'm just going to leave the paper on for now. It's not a problem. Next thing I have to do is the stem, and that'll be more than one piece, and I'm not following any specific pattern here. In fact, I think I want the stem a little fatter, just so it shows up a little bit more. And so I may freehand that. We'll see. But that's next. Okay, I'm going to stop here for now. I'm probably going to smooth this out a little bit more, but I don't want to go too thin. And I think I mentioned before, some of the detail here that was, it would have made the pieces too small to cut. I believe I'm going to wait until I have this mounted in the fretboard, because if I had done it before taking it off that board, I'm afraid it would have made it too weak. So I'm just going to wait on that, and we'll put some more detail into the rose once I've got it mounted. And I'm just going to stick with this for now. I may, if I want it longer, I can just add a piece to the end, or even do it differently. But I don't think I should go any further, because otherwise I need some to sand off once I put it in. So you don't want to do too much at first. So thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, I will have a guitar to build soon. But until then, have a nice summer, and hopefully it's not as hot as it is in this shop right now. Take care. Bye.